everybody, it's Lisa again with Literature 104 Assignment 4. And in this assignment, what you're going to be doing is you're going to select two pieces of literature, two short stories, two plays, or two poems that are of some length. And you're going to examine how they treat the same theme. In this essay, it's going to be at least 500 words, and you're relying on evidence and knowledge that you have of that particular topic. And make sure that you're following the format on page 90 of your text. Make sure you also are using MLA format guidelines and in-text citations if you use information from any sources, and a works cited page at the end. Finding opposing views to yours and demonstrate that they have weaknesses or fail to acknowledge some point. And the more famous works will have numerous articles written about them, and you'll be able to create your own opposing views of pros and cons of your thesis and be able to. You're going to be moving from an expository to an argumentative writing style in this particular essay. So you must make sure that you study the topic further. But for right now, what you're doing is you're shaping your writing to reflect that view that you have. Make sure that the thesis is the appropriate one, and also distinguish opposing views if you find them in the writing. It's kind of like thinking, there's a chink in the armor. How can that? We have a few suggestions. You can also go to the library and look at the reference book for short stories for students. That's if you do not wish to use the story of the hour and Revolt of a Mother or the Linnegan versus the Ants and they grinned exceedingly small. You are open to finding other stories. Those are our suggestions, but you are certainly able to use other short stories. Now, in expository essay, you are the author. You don't have a lot of room, okay, to include your opinions or beliefs. Okay, what you're doing is you are focusing on the factual statements. What are the debatable claims that were in the writing? You usually focus your discussion on what things are and how they work, but in this essay, you are to expose your understanding of that certain topic. What's the evidence? What are the examples? What are the anecdotes? Okay. How do you explain a memorial time, the place, the event? In an argument essay, okay, your opinion on things real is matters. Okay. It's how well, it's not your opinion. It's how well can you support that claim on the topic that has two reasonable sides. In argument writing, you are totally free to choose your opinions, but make sure you are able to back them up with support, with the research that you've done. An argument is going to be focused. It's going to be a clear statement, not a question. It's going to be a topic that you can support with solid evidence. The essay is going to be based on the pros and the cons. You're going to structure your approach. You're going to use transition words and phrases. You're going to be aware of your intended audience. How can you win that audience over? Research your topic. Your evidence has to be convincing. Do not overdo your language. You're not going to bore the reader by repeating the same points. Remember that the rules of a good paragraph, one single topic per paragraph. And then you have a natural progression from one paragraph to the next. And then you have a really good ending with a structure. So your tips for the writing is make a list of the pros and cons. Okay, before you even start your writing, choose what's the most important points. What are the pros? What do you have that can support your argument? Then, what's the most important points that you can use the cons to refute them? That's what you're focusing on. Okay, the argument of essay has three approaches. Choose the one that you will find most effective for your argument. Did you find it a better sell to your argument and then present the counter arguments and refute them? Or do you want to save the best for last? It's totally your. Avoid supplying unnecessary plot and summaries. Again, your goal is to draw a conclusion out about one or more works and support that conclusion. Okay, you need to have a plot detail. You're making a point. A brief summary is acceptable, but the plot summary is not going to substitute the analysis. Again, use literary terms accurately. Be careful not to confuse the narrator and the speaker with the author. Make sure that you are wording everything correctly, such as you don't want to say the poem's last stanza for us expresses his indecision, when in reality you meant that the poem speaker was indecisive. Underline titles of novels and plays. Places and titles and short stories and poems are go in quotation marks. If you're referring to an author, use their complete name first, the first time that you write about them, such as Edgar Allan Poe. Then after that, you can just use their last name. Make sure that if you are using information, quotes, from your sources, that they are in quotation marks with in-text citations in MLA format. Make sure that you do have a word cited page at the end. This essay is going to be a minimum of 500 words. Again, always make sure you're using your FMLA, your MLA format. All right, everybody, I'm excited to see what kind of stories you pick.